Hello everyone. The United States has come out once again in an article which appeared recently in Al Jazeera to say that it is rolling out new controls or export controls aimed at restricting China's chip industry. And this has been carried out, of course, through the United States, Commerce Department, and they are saying that they are consulting with their partners in curbing this outflow of key technologies, and of course that has to do with the semiconductor industry. This is of course a build-up onto what the United States has started in the past through the Donald Trump administration, whereby they attacked the Chinese chip industry and technology industry, of course. Now, this is extremely dangerous for the African continent. Why? And I'm going to show you this. Let us but first look at what the US is saying itself. It is saying that aligning our controls on quantum computing and other advanced technologies makes it significantly more difficult for our adversaries to develop and deploy these technologies in ways that threaten our collective security. And of course, this means the collective of course is the imperialists. Of course, they are working with Japan. We see that they are working with all European countries, and in this case they are talking to Netherlands, so that Netherlands will not be able to ship advanced chip making machines. Remember that in the past they had put on restrictions onto the chip industry in China, but China had been able to use its own ingenuity and make breakthroughs, and they produced a 7-nanometer chip. So this spooked the West to the point that now they are contemplating actually, or they are implementing even, tactics which aim at stopping the Dutch manufacturer, ASML, from going to China or working with China in servicing the machine. They want the machines even which are making the basic chips in China, the lower level chips in China, which are even not more advanced, to fail. They want these machines to completely fail so that China will not manufacture any chips. Now, this is extremely dangerous for Africa in such a way that you remember that Africa has been depending on China for growth for the last 20 years. The African economy has been growing. We have had about 5 economies or 7 economies out of the African continent, among the fastest growing economies in the world on the global stage. But lately we have seen a slowdown in the African economy to the point that the African economy is growing at 3.4%. The highest is 3.8%, but right now is falling, is even about to fall below 3%. And this is simply because of the United States war, which it has started on the global south. This is definitely a war on the global south. Don't even mistake it for anything. This is not just a war against China. The US does not want these technologies to come to the global south. If you remember very well, every time China has got its hands on technology, it has sort of democratized that technology. All right, which the United States takes those technologies, and the West combined, they take those technologies as a luxury, all right, as something to be coveted. Okay, they take it in what Tupac said one time when he was commenting on his conversation with, on his rivalry, of course, with Notorious B.I.G. Tupac said that what Notorious B.I.G. glamorizes, me, I personified it. It is ordinary to me. Basically, that is what he means. So China has come out to make what the United States glamorizes, to personify it. It has made it ordinary. And starting with the telephones, for example, before China came on board, the US was already producing phones. The Western world was already producing phones. Nokia, BlackBerry. They used to produce phones for only the rich. These phones were only the rich, who could afford them. It is until China came through that Africa now got access to these technologies, that Africans all over, even all over the world, the global south people who are poor, they got access to telephones and cheap telephones for that matter. Now, of course, this is a huge challenge, to the West, as we are seeing, even when it comes to the automobile. Now, China now that China has got its hands and it has got access to key technologies such as the automobile, we see that China now is mass producing it, and the West is worried and saying that is so-called overcapacity. Because China, every time it has gotten its hands on technology, it has democratized the technology. It has made it cheaper for others to have access to it. So what you are seeing now is an attack on the global south. The fact that China has been growing rapidly, that growth had been extended to countries like the African continent, which is a very good thing. Now, any curb to that growth in China is going to affect the African continent, definitely. And we are seeing this in the economic figure. China, when it dropped down from the 8%, but 10, 8%, 7%, where it has been growing, right now is growing below 5%. It's growing at 5 and below 4.5 to 5%. We are seeing that the African economies also, they have regressed, they have retrogressed downwards, they have gone downwards, they are not growing as expected. The article said that in a recent analysis, Ayele, a Tokyo-based semiconductor research company, said that China-made chips, that Chinese-made chips are only about 3 years behind those produced by Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company. The industry leader, despite United States efforts to constrain China from making these chips. So this is the reason. This is the very reason why the United States, is curbing, control over the chips. Is putting a control over the chips and these technologies, and it is not good for the world. It's not good for the global economy. Even researchers, through the UN, have come out to say that the war between China and the United States is going to affect the global south. But these are figures which the United States, of course, is not heeding to. They don't mind this as long as they want to win for themselves. They want to covet everything for themselves. And what we are seeing is that they are coming up with a lot of propaganda, even on the African continent. They are not showing us how we are going to be affected or how we are being affected. And the fact that our economies are slowing down, they are not telling us that. But rather they are coming out with propaganda to show us how they are good people. And of course, this is very unfortunate. And we need to be on guard. As Africans, we need to be on guard, because the utmost enemy, the perpetual enemy, the declared enemy of the African people is imperialism, and is United States imperialism together with European imperialism. This is the declared enemy of the African people. What do you think that we should do about this particular challenge that we are facing on the African continent? Please put that in the comment section, and we will continue to discuss going forward. We will continue to discuss it going forward. My name is Kwame Gonza, and the channel is called Connect Africa and Africa Reimagined. We will continue these deliberations. We will continue these discussions. Please support the channel also as we go forward. Share the channel, like the channel, and like the video itself. Share it with other people so that we can bring this consciousness to our people and understanding of what is going on across the world. Thank you so much, and God bless you.